If you would like to share your personal testimony, please reach out to us. Please send us a WhatsApp message or send us an email. The WhatsApp line number 0617981075, and tell us you'd like to share your personal testimony. Alternatively, you can send us an email to bwf@ccfm.org.za. So yesterday I had the privilege of phoning a couple of people to just say thank you for your support of CCFM, ongoing support and so forth. And in the process, got the privilege to phone Brenda. And so Brenda's joining us on the line virtually via StreamYard. Brenda, thanks for your time this morning.
It's a pleasure, Jonathan, and thank you for having me on your show just to share my story.
You are so welcome. So, Brenda, the floor is yours. We've been through an incredible couple of years lately. Please share as you shared with me yesterday.
I'm gonna start off.
Oh dear, we seem to
where
have lost
I
that
am
internet connection. Brenda,
There
sorry,
we
we lost you there for a split second. Not sure if the mobile network dropped you. Okay, go for it. Start off for us. Okay, sorry, we're not hearing you. Not sure why we're not hearing you. Not sure if it's been muted or if there's an internet connection. Okay, there we go.
Now?
Yes, we can hear you.
So may I continue?
Yes, you may.
Go for it.
Okay. So, most of my professional history was built at this company that I'm currently working for. It's LBB Innovative Foods, and I worked in the capacities of team leader, production supervisor, and quality and systems manager. Initially, I started in this business as a general worker, but due to my excellent work ethic and strong communication skills, I was then moved into
I think it's on the other side though.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. So I was then moved into a team leader position. And while demonstrating very good performance in my role and also completing my matric after hours because I was a high school dropout. I dropped out in the 10th grade. And I was always the kid who had big visions and big dreams from my first grade up until the 7th grade. I was the straight A student, top student in my class, had big goals, big visions for myself. But then when I went into the 10th grade, my parents went through a messy divorce, and I never ever imagined my mom and dad going through ever divorcing, ever. And so it ripped me apart. It took me into pieces, and my coping mechanism, or I should say, I rebelled against my parents because I felt sort of like they were dropping me for leaving one another. And so I went astray and I just got involved in so many different bad things. And one of it resulting in me then dropping out in the 10th grade and not, completing my grade 12 and continuing on to a tertiary level. So working at this company, God just gave me an opportunity to go back to school and complete my grade 12 after hours. And, I performed very well in my role and I gained more experience. And so I was then promoted to production supervisor, overseeing 3 different departments. And during this time, I was upskilled further in quality, food safety, and systems design and implementation, which then led to my promotion on quality systems manager of LBB. So starting as a high school dropout with no experience, I was then promoted to a quality systems manager within the business. And, in 2018, I started a 5-year training plan on becoming the operations manager of LBB. But then in 2019, I faced adversities in the business like never before, and that led me to leaving LBB in 2019. And at the time, I was emotionally all over the place because I just lost my mom a couple of months before, and this business was sort of like
Mm.
my family. It was my home away from home. And so I felt like I lost a family. And so losing my mom and leaving the business, I was just emotionally all over the place, and I just made a string of poor decisions that ultimately resulted in me, going into this deep, dark place in my life. I was down in every area. Relationships was falling apart. My finances was on an all-time low. I had to downgrade and move from Tableview back to Mitchell's Plain, where I told myself I never want to go back there again. But I was forced due to the circumstances to go back to Mitchell's Plain and live with my family. And during this time, I literally just locked myself in my room with the light off. And every day I would just cry to God, and I would just ask God, like, why is this happening to me? Because I believed that I was a good person. I was raised in a Christian home. And, I knew all about Jesus. I prayed every day. I prayed for others. I did the good deeds. And I was like, but God, I'm a good person. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, why did everything just fall apart just like that? And I was in the deepest, darkest time of my life that I've ever been before. And during this time, this is when my relationship with God went to a whole nother level, like never before. Like my relationship became so intimate, just spending weeks in that room with the light off, not going anywhere. The only people that was close to me who had access to me was my father, my dad, my three sisters, and my friend, a daughter of the opposite neighbor. And they were literally the only people who would spend time with me because they had like close access to me. Other than that, I was cut off from the whole world, literally. And I was just spending time in that room, praying, worshiping, saturating myself in the word of God. And in that way, I got to know God in on a whole nother level, like I've never known him before. And so, my friend, like as they popped in just to keep me company, and just to get me out of that zone, one day walked in and she told me about how she just dropped the son off daycare, but on their way she almost landed in an accident because she was driving and she was listening to TCFM, to a hope story. And then she just got this flash vision about me and her. And we were walking in the street and we were evangelizing. We were preaching the gospel and we were sharing Jesus. And she said, I was the one who was preaching the most. And this vision almost caused her to land in an accident. But nothing happened to them. Both she and her son was fine. And mind you, I was not a radio girl. I did not listen to radio at all. So I did not even know.
Oh dear. We seem to have lost the connection to Brenda. Cell phone towers or something.
There we go.
Yeah, I think you're back. Brenda? Hello? Brenda? Oh dear. Brenda, one last try. Brenda? Oh, I think we're going to have to do a part 2 next week sometime. On Tuesday, we've got a sort of hopes. Are you back?
There we go.
I'm there.
Okay, cool. So you were saying about getting into radio? Just
So
quickly,
yeah,
you've only got about 2 minutes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly wrap this up. So in a nutshell, Jonathan, everything spiraled to the point where I ended up taking,
Stefan's mom is asking if we can play Battlefield.
and my uncle's wife passed away December 2020, and she was his primary. And so, and so she passed away, and there was no one else to take care of my uncle. So I then went and I took care of my uncle until July when he passed away. And during this time, I faced a whole lot of his family, you know, saying that I wanted to take care of my uncle for the benefits. I wanted his house, I wanted his money, etc., etc. This after everyone has been given the opportunity to go and take care of my uncle, but then no one, you know. So I took it to do.
Oh dear. Okay, Brenda, we're gonna have to reschedule. Sorry about that, Brenda. I'm not sure why, but your internet connection is dropping us. But already just challenged to hear what God has done and holding on the faith. And I can share with you just briefly that when Brenda and I spoke yesterday over the telephone, I was so encouraged just to hear what God has done in the last year or so. So that was super, super encouraging. That's where we're going to leave it for today. Terribly sorry that you are having internet connection issues, Brenda. These things do happen, but it's not the end of the world. We trust that we'll be able to get the full story sometime in the next couple of weeks.